Hey everybody, welcome back. So I have let the primer dry for a day and then I blocked it with 240, and I also filled in a lot of the little stuff. Like I had, those pinholes up here. There they are. Had some pinholes, had some little inconsistencies. And so I filled those with the body filler, and like I mentioned, I used that, the Rage, who makes that? What is that? Forgot the company. Sorry. The Rage body filler. I have a separate video on that. Actually, I made another video on filling, my process for doing body filler work and filling all the little holes. So I just wanted to show you, and in this video, I'm going to show you the paint I'm using too, the primer, and tell you how much that costs. And why I'm using it. But I was really pleasantly surprised at how well this thing blocked out. This is the first pass, and you have to understand, I'm an amateur, and I just, did the body filler. I had to repair the cracks. They have those the joining cracks where the fenders join up, and they kind of bond them right up in here. Those were cracked on both sides. I put in some short strand fiberglass reinforced body filler, did that, body filler. All this was such a mess in here. This was busted. There was crap in here, and I did all that work, and it actually blocked out really nice for the first pass. I was expecting there to have to be a lot more work, and the reason I'm mentioning that is I think I'm going to get away with just one more pass of primer, and then blocking with 240, and then sanding it and painting. I'm hoping I don't have to spray anymore. Although look, he's ready. He's like, oh, did I hear the word spray? Yeah, I'm ready. He's waiting. Okay, how do I undo this? Sorry, hold on. Okay, there we go. And now it won't focus. So annoying. Well, my wife's home, so I gotta stop anyway. All right, well, you know how that, the wife just rolled up, so I'm gonna stop talking, and I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. All right, she's gone. Just had to drop off some groceries. So actually, I was gonna mention this, and my goal is to try to shoot some more primer today, because my wife hates that I have a Corvette parked in the driveway for weeks and weeks and weeks. And so, just to keep her happy, I'm trying to keep this thing moving along. Get rid of all this mess down here. So, I filled in all the stuff. I'm pretty happy with the initial blocking. And I'll do a video on kind of how I'm doing the blocking when I do more of it. The first pass, though, this was pretty thin. And I just wanted to kind of do a check, just check it out, check in with everything. You know what? Now I'm seeing this. Look at that. Probably ought to fix that, because I think this little part right here is actually exposed, which is weird. I don't know why but it is. So, let's look at the paint. I was going to show you guys the paint I'm using. I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm using this, and Transtar Gray Euro Classic primer. I just got a new set gallon with hardener, and then I bought this too. This is kind of fun. And the reason I got this, just quick primer in the can, is that when you're working on stuff like this edge right here, right? This needed a little bit of filler work, but see, it's really hard to see if that's good. When it's like this, you can't even tell. Hello. It's hard to tell. So if you spray this, if I spray this with primer gray, then I can see what it's going to look like way easier. So this I like because I can go around and sort of spot check stuff before I spray the whole thing, and I can address little inconsistencies before I get on the suit and get out the compressor and the spray gun and all that. Speaking of the spray gun, you guys are familiar with this. You know what that is. $20 Harbor Freight. just using it for the primer. I have a good gun. I have a better gun for the base, which I'm doing a single stage color, Sherman-Williams auto. But I just use a cheap gun for the primer because it's going to get sanded and everything anyway. As long as it sprays everywhere, sprays out, it's fine. Let me show you how much this stuff costs. I'm in Los Angeles, so just keep that in mind. So for the gallon of primer, well, here, all three. The gallon of primer, activator, and a can of spray. So the gallon was 120, the hardener is 35, and the spray can is 14, plus 9.5% tax. So that gives you some idea. I was hoping I could do everything with 1 gallon. You know, if your car's in pretty good shape and you're not having to do too much priming, you could maybe do a project with 1 gallon of primer. I'm feeling like this is going to be 1.5 gallons. There's a tiny bit left in here, just like a cup. And I also, just as long as we're on the subject, I'm going to say that, where's my other cup? I don't have it. So you know those, the pint cups, right? Or the quart, is it a quart? Yeah. The quart cups. You know, they go up to 6 ounces, I guess. That's a pint. I don't know what it is. The smaller cups. I would use 2 of those for 1.5 or 2 light passes on the car. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm just going to mix up like half of one of these or 2/3 of this, and then I'm going to spray all my primer from that because I don't want to have to stop and remix. I did that in the last time and the gun started to get funky, so I just want to keep the stuff flowing. Those of you who paint understand that. No pausing. So that's what I'm going to do there. I am also using a reducer. I have a bunch of this. It's just medium urethane reducer. I talked to the guys and, I know that the common, recommendation is stay within the brand, but honestly, for reducer, I don't think that's so critical. I even asked the guy down there. He's like, yeah, you can pretty much use it, whatever reducer. And I have a bunch of this and I just don't want to go buy a whole nother gallon of reducer. So what I do is I do 4 to 1, 1, 4, 1, 1. And I find that works well with this. And this is what is this? Can't see. It's a 1.4. So I also know that, a lot of people are spraying primer with like 1.8 or 2.0, but I like the 1.4 with a slightly reduced primer because it goes on way smoother. I was doing it non-reduced before and it just, man, I had so much orange peel. It just went on really blobby and then I'm sanding forever. This goes on way flatter, way smoother. I mean, in some cases you pretty much don't even need to sand it. You could almost just paint right on it. It's really nice. It goes on really nice, like a satin finish. Okay, so I think that's everything I wanted to cover in this video. I'm going to try to knock this out today, actually. It's a beautiful day. I am outside. It's a little breezy. It depends on what goes on with the wind, but yeah, I might go ahead and try to put more primer on this thing today because I want it, I want to give it a day to fully dry before I start blocking it. And that, if I wait till tomorrow, that puts me a whole nother day. And right now the days are kind of valuable because the clock is ticking, my friends. But hey, you know what? Before we go, I want to give a shout out to 76 Vet channel and also to Time with the Durbans, Mark Durbin, for their channels. Great guys, really helping out the community, helping out all of us. So you guys, even if you don't get what you want from a certain video, just remember there's people out there taking their time and attention and producing content for you, for free. So be nice to the guys and gals that are doing this stuff, voluntarily. I'm not making any money on YouTube. I don't really care I hate to say it, but I don't care if you subscribe or not because I make money and end up in another way. One last thing. This is, you guys can relate to this. That's why I want to mention. So my neighbor, I pull this thing up, right? First day I get it home. It's on a trailer. I had it towed from AAA from where I bought it because I just didn't trust it. I didn't want to drive it all the way. So I get the car, I park it on the street. First thing my neighbor, he comes out and he says, "Hey, you're going to think you're going to make money on that?" And I'm like, come on, man. Do you really think I'm buying an old car like this and I'm going to fix it up in my driveway so I can make money? No. I'm going to spend money because I want the car. I don't know why people have this obsession with money and how much we're spending and how much you get it for and how much. You know what? Can we move on from that conversation? It's a hobby. Like somebody on the Corvette list, the Corvette forum put it really well. He said, why are people obsessing about how much money you're spending on a hobby? And I think he said something like, do you ask somebody who plays golf how much they spend on their golf clubs and if they're going to make money on them? I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. No, I'm going to spend money. I'm going to spend money. Because one of my favorite sayings, and this is true, spend your money where you spend your time. The only way you're going to waste money is if you buy something and you never use it and it sits. That is a waste of money. You could spend a ton of money on something, and if you enjoy the crap out of it and you use it, good for you. That's money well spent. So don't worry about the amount of money is not important. The amount of enjoyment is important, right? That's what matters. And, get stuff you can afford. Don't go into debt fixing up an old car. But I had a budget for this, and I'm happy I can spend money on it. You know what? That's a privilege. So there you go. Reframe that one. Anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. I'll check in soon.